This is a violation of our social contract. And it sounds good. Let's just let more H-1B workers in. But what about the 23-year-old that went to University of Washington and studied computer science at the UW Computer Science Department? Shouldn't he be given preference above someone who could do the work for far less? It is about priorities, and it's not about what Charlie Kirk wants. It's not about what other people want out there. And I have friends on both sides of this debate. It's very simple. It's what the American people wanted.
Okay. All right. So that was Charlie Kirk essentially calling for DEI for white people. Okay. So just contextualize this properly. So some MAGA loyalists are still having an internal meltdown. Why? Because Trump stated that he supports foreign work permits, H-1B work permits. Now, Trump has thrown Bannon and many longtime hardline immigration proponents and supporters under the bus. Now, Trump and others could be playing out, well, the ultimate bait and switch. So let's put it up. Ramaswamy. So Ramaswamy, Donald Trump's administration pick to help cut government spending, is potentially looking to now end affirmative action. End affirmative action. America is the land of mediocrity. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Ramaswamy. I just reported, just a day ago, that you were talking about lazy white men. That was the issue. Lazy white men. And all of a sudden, now this conflict has started in MAGA. What does Ramaswamy do? He throws MAGA red meat. Affirmative action. And all of a sudden, all of MAGA forgets that he just called white people mediocre. I mean, he had governors and everybody against him. Now, there's more. All right. Look at the response from Jack Pozo. All right. Let's put it up again. It's very simple to control MAGA, obviously. So Jack says, couldn't agree more. America must have color blindness instituted at every level of society, from K to 12 to business to military. Trump has not shaken things up, leaving MAGA super confused and scrambling on who to be mad at now. So President-elect Donald Trump came out in favor of these visas for skilled foreign workers on Saturday, siding with Elon Musk against Steve Bannon and much of the MAGA base in a raging battle over the issue. So Trump bragged he employed foreign nationals at many of his properties. He also praised programs that allow foreign workers to travel to the US for jobs that many on the far right have spent days arguing are being stolen out from underneath American citizens. Now, let's go to Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, Elon Musk, they started fighting last week about foreign work permits. Steve Bannon, someone please notify Child Protective Services. Need to do a wellness check on this toddler. Talking about Elon Musk. Okay? And then Elon had his own response. Okay? This set off a storm of posts from Trump loyalists. But now that the president-elect has stated he actually supports these visas for foreign skilled workers, he supports them. Quote, I've always liked the visas. I have always been in favor of the visas. That's why we have them. I have many H-1B visas on my properties. He calls them H-1B visas. I've been a believer in H-1B. I have used it many times. It's a great program, end quote. Fascinating. Ramaswamy says Not the exact same thing. He said about 1/3 of what Trump said. 1/3. He wasn't as aggressive as Trump. He wasn't as forceful as Trump. He was like light Trump on this. Ramaswamy gets called out by Nikki Haley and everyone else publicly. How dare you say these things? It's about America. Charlie Kirk. Then Trump says, actually, Ramaswamy's right. Yeah, they're going to stay. Okay, meanwhile, so some common voices like Fox and Friends are tiptoeing around the subject. Let's go to it. So Fox and Friends weekend. Co-host tiptoed through the H-1B visa minefield that has threatened to blow apart MAGA world. Rachel Campos Duffy claimed that Trump coming out in favor of the H-1B visa program on Saturday, when he previously been against it, left a lot of people confused. Meanwhile, you got Tommy Lauren wasting no time posting on X. Jeepers creepers, we don't need a MAGA civil war. I'm not personally a fan of expanding H-1B visas, but doesn't mean I now want Elon out of the MAGA tent. It's a big tent. Debate, disagree, discuss, but let's not go hysterical here. Did y'all hear what y'all said about Ramaswamy last week? I mean, one guy literally went full racist and talked about India as it relates to Ramaswamy. All of a sudden, now that Trump said it, MAGA is more agreeable to the notion. Proving my point last week when I said, Ramaswamy, if Trump would have said what you said, Trump would not have an adverse response. You, sir, do not have the complexion for protection. But see, Trump does. There you have it. Jackson, for the first time, MAGA world actually dealt with a policy issue. This is not a slogan. It's not some weird thing Trump has done. It's not a civil case or criminal trial. It's actually a policy. And they completely imploded. What say you?
I mean, there's so much to take them from this. On the one hand, I want to respond to what Tommy Learn said about how it's a big tent, but it's not a big tent. The Republican Party isn't a big tent. I mean, you just look at the difference between what the left and the right has to do to win the presidency. Democrats have to coalesce with so many different kinds of people. There's so much diversity, not just with ethnicities and nationalities, but in thought and approach to politics. On the other side, you really don't have, I mean, it's pretty much just a bunch of racist white people. I mean, let's be serious. It's the racist elements of the country. The majority of America is white, and the Republican Party, all they really have to do when they run for office is say, you know, F black people, F brown people. We don't want none of these people in here. Don't like women, don't like the gay people or the trans people, and they'll win. You know, so there's really no, it's not a big tent. I mean, let's be serious. And then, you know, Donald Trump hasn't even taken office yet. And there's already this much chaos around an issue that isn't going anywhere in the first place. But, you know, again, Donald Trump came down that golden escalator talking about Mexicans shouldn't be here. That's what the movement's all about. So, you know, like, but at the same time, it's so much of a cult that when Trump comes out and he's like, well, actually, I have H-1Bs as my properties. I don't like paying my workers either. Well, they're like, oh, well, you know, that makes sense because Trump's a billionaire and he's this big businessman, but also at the same time, he's somehow for the little guy and he has nothing to do with politics and he's not the establishment. I mean, there's no real concrete sense to any of this. It's just dysfunction. And that defines what MAGA is. It's just a bunch of dysfunction. But no, Tommy, it's not a big tent. It isn't. The Republican Party has been completely hijacked by the most racist and low down elements of the country. And that there's nothing else to say about it. There really isn't.
Well said. All right. I'm sure there's an update soon coming.